My big idea this morning is the cross is a centre of reality. The cross is a centre of reality. I hope that as we explore this for a few minutes, that's the message that will come out that you need to take home with you in your home and everyday life this week. The cross is a centre of reality. Well, driving through on the way back here from Sydney, I entered AFL territory, which is good to be in home soil. And when you realise that football would be nothing without the actual football. When you think of it, there'd be no goals, no points, no penalties, no heroes. The game would be absolutely nothing if it wasn't for that little round or egg-shaped red thing called a football. Everything else that goes on in that stadium is a waste of time without the football. In football, the football is the thing. Here's my point. Here's my point. In Christianity, the cross is the main thing. And I know some of you are here for the first time this morning. I want you to know that in this church, the cross is the main thing. Galatians 2 verse 20 is a beautiful passage of Paul about the cross. I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. I am crucified with Christ. That's the theme that I want to lead you into the communion service with this morning. I am crucified with Christ. The most important thing our church needs to be is centred in the cross. This is going to annoy me. I'm wondering if Addison, if you're listening for once, if you're listening to me, can you go to the drawer there, grab a bit of sticky tape and curl it in a curl about that long. I need to put this belt away or it's going to annoy me. So just bring it down to me, a little bit of tape in a curl. If you're worried about how to do it, go past Josie. She does it quite often for me. So, yeah, it's in the drawer there. Yep, grab that, rip a bit off. Yep, now circle it and bring it down to me.
You've lost too much weight, Lauren.
I think I realise now that my family isn't over in Victoria, they're here. Hey, David. Right, where were we? The most central thing in our church needs to be the cross. It's the centre of everything there is to be for a Christian. The cross stands at the centre of our theology. And church, it has to. Anything we believe, anything we call doctrine that is devoid of Jesus Christ is like an empty stadium at the football ground. It is useless to you, useless to us and useless to the church. The cross is the centre of the Bible. It's the reason the Bible was written, our redemption. The cross is the centre of Bible prophecy. All Bible prophecy has to come and point to the cross, forward or back. It cannot do anything else. If it does not point to the cross of Jesus Christ, then throw out the prophecy and raise up the cross. The cross is the centre of all our purpose of everything we do in church. The cross is a central message that we must preach and bear. The cross is a centre of all our methods that we do to do church. The cross is meant to be the spiritual centre of our lives. And where's the spiritual centre of our lives? It's our heart. In reading through the book of Psalms, it's our heart. The heart is the centre of our spiritual life. That's what it's talking about. The cross is where Jesus met judgment, and in so doing pours out his mercy to us. The cross is where Jesus met judgment, and in so doing pours out his mercy upon us. The question I have for you and I this morning as we contemplate the cross, as we take the glass, as we take the bread, as we do foot washing, the question I have for you this morning is, do we have the cross where it's meant to be? Do you have the cross where it's meant to be? Do I have the cross where it's meant to be? Is your life, is my life centred in the cross? It wasn't until the lives of those disciples were centred in the cross that they became powerful men and the church of Jesus that changed their world in their lifetime. Centred in the cross. We are called to die, in a sense, to ourselves. We are called to die to our will. In our lives, selfishness can very easily become our religion. Very easy. We bow to worship at the altar of I so much. Me, myself, mine. And we will sacrifice anything or anyone that gets in the way of I. We sacrifice relationships, values, beliefs, and even our Christianity just to have self-satisfaction. Just think about it. Just think about it. The cross calls me this morning to come and die to myself that I might truly live. Wherever religious activity, however sincere, trumps my grace-filled relationship with Christ, the power of Christ is no longer experienced in the believer's life. Wherever religious activity, however sincere, trumps my grace-filled relationship with Christ, the power of Christ is no longer experienced in the believer's life. The cross has to be the centre of all that we do, of all that we are, of everything we do, every moment we open the doors of this church building, of everything we do in our home life, work life, church life, social life. It has to be with the cross of Jesus Christ in mind. He is everything. He has to be everything if I'm going to be anything. As you know, word got around that I flew out last week, and Talisha and I had the most wonderful dad and daughter time driving back. And it's always special, and I just keep on wondering myself, and some of you will say, yeah, Lauren, we've been there. I wonder how many more moments I can grab with those type of times where with your kids, it's just everything, isn't it? Well, I flew across to Melbourne and we set Tulissa booked the tickets for me and gave me an hour to get it from one side of the airport across to the other side to get the plane. I had to move to get there in time and walked up and had a time just to grab a drink and they were boarding. And so I flew from here to Sydney, to Melbourne, then Melbourne to Sydney and then caught the train to Hornsby. And you're with all unfamiliar faces, you're going to the time schedules, making sure that you're going to get everything there. And it was just good to hop off the train there in Hornsby, again, another busy hub, and see the face of my brother. He'd come to have breakfast with us. And it was great to say go to him. And then we walked out to the car park, and there's Tulissa circling the car park in her little blue machine looking for a car park. And so Darren says to me, he said, park over where I'm parking. So he jumped in the seat with Tulissa and directed her around there. And he said, meet me at the food hall. Now, me being big brother, who's been to Hornsby many times there, yeah, I know the food hall. Well, Hornsby's changed in a few years. And the food hall wasn't where it should be. And so I walked up, looked for it, couldn't see it. I thought, it's got to be in here somewhere. So I went up the stairs, down the stairs, just could not see it. And then Darren started to ring me, my brother, and says, where are you? And I said, oh, I'm on my way. And finally realised I need to look for the signs. And the signs all pointed to where the food hall was. It was actually in a different part of the shopping centre over the road. You had to go over a walkway over to it. And there I met Tulissa and Darren, and I had the most wonderful vegetables with satay sauce over it. And all was good. I tell you that story because you and I are on the road to heaven. We're on the journey, and Jesus has said that he'll not drink of the fruit of the vine. In the meantime, we need signposts to the food hall. And the signposts in our life to the food hall of life, of our spiritual life, is none other than the cross. The cross points us the way home. The cross points us to where the feast is. The cross points us to where family is, because Jesus has made us family. This morning, as we go through the little symbols that remind us of the cross of Calvary and what it means, we discover humility. We discover the pain that Jesus went through. We discover the life that he gave, and may those signposts point you in your life, in your spiritual life, wherever it may be, to heaven, the great celebration of family. May God bless us as we divide now for what we call the ordinance of humility. I know there are a few of you here for the first time. That's where we follow Jesus in his example, and we wash each other's feet. We pick a friend or someone, even someone who we may have wronged or they may have wronged us. It's where forgiveness just flows. And it's where no one is meant to feel lonely. We look out for everyone, and we would ask that everyone be involved in this. And there are 3 sites. There's the men go to the left in the back hall here into what's called the seminar room, and there's a setting there set ready for you. The ladies go to the right-hand side of the hall, and you'll find things set there ready for you. And if couples would like to make use of the occasion, which is ideal because, hey, the couples are the closest and can have sometimes some rough times, it's great to be able to wash your wife's feet or someone really, really close to you's feet. So out in the back room, right down in I think what they call the exit entrance room, in there is where it's set up for couples. So let's enjoy that time together. Children, you have a story in here, and let's enjoy the next few moments and then come back in here and we will just have the symbols of the bread and the wine together. May Jesus be real here this morning with you. May you think of him. May you pray for each other as you wash each other's feet. And may you centre all your thoughts on the cross this morning and make it a real spiritual moment is my prayer as your pastor.